Kerry, a couple of years ago, I would have thought it was impossible for an Australian to win the World of Outlaws, and I don't think that that's unfair. But I got to admit, I think now it is possible with what you're doing. Do you feel it's close?
Oh, absolutely. It's definitely a daunting task. Such an effort to do it. Just such an effort to do the World of Outlaws, let alone try to win it. And I think we're doing all the right things to try to achieve the goal, because it's not just a fact of getting a race team and buying a motor and go racing. You got 90 races. It's such an organisational thing. It's the infrastructure, just putting the right personnel, people together. It's such a challenge in itself. So this year come by was our 4th year with Kerry, 3rd year on the World of Outlaws, and we had a great year where we finished 4th in points. There was a few DNFs in there. It was just not our fault, but that's racing, and so maybe we could have been a little further up. But still, this year, 4th was great. Once you go 4th, you want to go better, no doubt about it, win some more races. But once you get up that ladder, obviously there's some pretty stiff competition along the way. Donny Shots, Darren Pittman won it last year, 2nd this year. So, you know, we've really got to try to take it to them guys. And how you got to do that? We have the raw car speed. There's no doubt about that. We can, you know, and it's not about going out and winning the most races. It's about finishing. I mean, you know, when you do a 90-race schedule, I can't even remember if we were on 5th or 7th in Michigan last year. So and the points are so close that a DNF really does hurt at the end of the year. So you just got to work on your consistency. There's going to be a DNF or two here, but minimise them. And Donny Shots has just had a crazy year, won a colossal amount of races. So we've got to try and win some more races, get up the front, try and get a lot more top 3. We had a lot of top 5s and we had a lot of podiums, but we just got to try and increase that amount to get to that goal. But, you know, in saying that, it's a new year. We will start from zero. And, you know, like in a football term, like just because a football team won the premiership or won the grand final this year, doesn't always mean they're the favourite for next year. So we're working hard. Guys are working hard at home. We've got great sponsors with American Racing Custom Wheels and Earthex, and we've got great ownership with Bob Gavranich, Pete Gavranich, so the resources are there, and we'll see how we go. But you've got to be realistic. The goals are to go win races and just be consistent and have a nice points haul. But definitely, you know, well, I'd be lying if I said we wouldn't be thinking that a win could be on the cards if we do everything right.
At what point in the race did you know you'd won the King's Royal?
Checkered flag. I knew early on in the race that I had a you know, pretty commanding car, and I felt good. The rhythm was really great, running great lines, and everything felt great. Took the white flag, red flag comes out, a yellow flag, and I'm like, oh no, I've been through this before. So just tried to get myself to focus, and got Donny Shots behind me, and the cushion had kind of lost a bit of speed, and everyone knows how good Donny is through the middle. So, but well, I've got to try and stick this thing through the middle. And
were you nervous at that point?
No, not really, because we'd gone back to single file restarts, and I felt like I could control that a little better. And then when I got on the gas and the thing locked down and I went through the middle of 1 and 2, I thought, got half a chance here, and 3 and 4, and get a good corner. And then I just tried to knuckle around and do another clean lap, and as I was coming out, I knew I had it, and that was an incredible feeling.
That place has bit you pretty hard before too.
Yeah, we've come really close to winning a couple of King's Royals, just didn't quite get there. You know, and what do you sort of think, hopefully that's not my only shot to win a big race like that, but you know, we did everything right on the night. We had fast car, we went out, we got quick time, last car out, quick time, strong in the heat. We were the strongest car that night, came from behind, so it was a great feeling, and we definitely want to go get another one. You know, we won the same with the Ironman as a pretty big race down there, and then we backed it up a week later with a podium at the Knoxville Nationals. So a great team. We've just got to expand our consistency. We were on a real hot streak there for a while, and you know, we just didn't turn in the finishes that we were in the middle of the year at the end of the year, but we know why. You know, we've gone back, analysed it, and we think we'll be stronger for all that next year. There's
a really cool singlet of a frog that's about to be swallowed by a pelican, and the frog's got hold of the pelican's neck, refusing to be swallowed. If I think of anything when I think of you, it's just not giving up. There must have been times when you've driven cars that you just didn't necessarily want to drive, but you had to do another race for someone, and now here you are in one of the world's top teams.
It's been a long journey, but I guess you're just eternal optimist. You know, you always think something's around the corner. You always, and I've always believed that I don't have to have the biggest, flashiest things to win a race. You know, I mean, you can only race one car and one motor at the time, and so that's never bothered me. But always been an internal optimist that I'd get the opportunity to drive for like a dream team like I am right now. So just really relishing the opportunity. Appreciate the opportunity. We've got great people around, and since I've been with the Governance, I've just been pretty much like, hey, good things happen when you get with good people. So it's been a really fun ride.
If you're able to achieve this result, even maybe winning the Knoxville Nationals, which is not out of your grasp by any means either, it'd be fantastic to think an Australian team did that as well. It's not just you driving an American Outlaws team. This is a Western Australian, built Australian proud team. Yeah,
you're right, but the sprint car world is so small now that it just doesn't feel like that. I mean, we got, you know, American crew chief, we're based in the US. You know, we got the young guys coming over to America now, like James McFadden doing extremely well, and it's such a small world now, and guys coming here. It's not like it was 20 years ago when I started racing, and an American would come down here, and everything was so far away with, you know, internet. It's just one. To me, when I'm in Australia, I just feel like I'm on another tour racing. You know, I don't really feel like I'm going to Australia to go race. I'm like, oh, I got to go home and go race for a while. It's just, you know, somewhere in Ohio or in Pennsylvania or in California or we're in Australia. It's all just part of the world too, the world thing for me.
Were you ever going to give up? Was there a moment when you went?
No way.
Never?
No. I mean, as long as there's something to drive and something to keep going with. I guess age at some point is going to play a restrictor on it, but always felt like there was, you know, never thought it ever crossed my mind, to be honest.
Does anything scare you, Kerry?
Yeah, I'm just, you know, like generally pretty, like you get to the racetrack and no, nothing scares, but generally I'm a pretty shy, quiet person, so I get a little nervous about all that stuff. But, you know, the whole racing things, there's so many great fans and great people that it's really helped out a lot on that front.
A couple of kids from St Mary's doing okay for themselves on the world. Not to say there's anything about St Mary's, but St Mary's is a long way from the stage at Knoxville, where now Ian is now the track championship there. It's quite a remarkable story. Yeah,
but, you know, not really. You look at all the, okay, we're originally from St Mary's, or you can say Donnie Schatz is really from Minot, North Dakota, or Steve Kinsey was from Bloomington, Indiana. Everyone's from somewhere, and I don't think you could ever really let that, because you're not from a certain area, be a hindrance to you. It seems like the guys that are not necessarily in the thing, maybe are a little more hungrier and want a little more. I mean, I don't know, but definitely, you know, St Mary's was good because we were only 20 minutes away from Parramatta City Raceway, which has always been one of my world-time favourite tracks. So, probably an advantage.
Last question for you. I want you to complete this sentence in any way you like. I race because...
Well, I pretty much race because, I mean, you just don't want to lose. After a certain while of racing a sprint car, the actual, just that raw feeling you get from being in a sprint car where it's the most adrenaline rush thing, that you lose that. And then it becomes about the competition and just, and it gets so tough, you know, when you have a great night, especially with the top teams and sponsors and pressure that's put on you. And everyone says, oh, there's no pressure, but I think the drivers themselves and the crew guys put a lot of pressure on themselves because, you know, if you win, you know, you've got a job tomorrow and it's all happy. If you lose, you don't know. So when you win, you really are. You feel great. And when you have a bad night, which you're going to have when you race 100 times a year, I mean, sometimes you're waiting for the phone call. So it's tough.
Perfect.